Namaste, I'm Rachna Lashkebagwe. I'm covering 365 days, 365 stories. And the stories, I'm covering different people, different stories. So today, along with us, we have Mr. Robin Banerjee, who is an author, who is an economist, who is a corporate executive, and an entrepreneur. We'll know more about him. Hello, sir.
Hello, namaskar, Rachna. Namaskar.
So tell us about your work.
Before I start with my work, a little bit of my educational background that might help to understand what type of work I do and perhaps anyone can do. Educationally, I'm a chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary, and master of commerce. And then after my studies, I entered the corporate life. And in the corporate life, I worked for companies like Hindustan Unilever, where I was general manager. Then I moved to Germany. In ArcelorMittal, it was a steel company. It is a steel company. As its managing director, I returned to India after 5 years of ArcelorMittal to join as executive director in Thomas Cook. After 2 years of Thomas Cook, I joined SR Steel as its executive director, a steel company as the name suggests. And then I moved to a renewable energy company as a member of the board in Suzlon Energy. It's a renewable energy company. And last 10 years, I was the managing director of a company called Capri and India Limited. For last 6 months, I am currently the chairman of Nuclear Research Private Limited. Here, I'm not only an executive, I'm also an entrepreneur. Nuclear Research is a global CRO. What is a CRO? CRO means Clinical Research Organization. What does clinical research organizations do? When a drug is invented or discovered, it has to go through animal testing. We all know the testing on animals, it is done, drugs are done on animals. Once animal testing passes through, it goes through human testing. Human testings are also done in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Phase 1 is usually done on healthy individuals, 4 or 5 or 6 individuals. And then it goes to phase 2, which could be 20, 30, 40 individuals, patients. Then it goes to a larger sampling size, which could be phases called phase 3, which could be 2, 300 or 400 patients. And once that passes, it goes through, then the drug is launched. After that, it goes through something called a phase 4 trial, which could be done on thousands of patients, whether the drug is efficient or not. Our company, Nuclear Research, does human testing of drugs. So that's what we do for a living.
So you are an economist and you guide people about investments and financial literacy. So tell us something about it.
When you talk about investments and perhaps economic condition, I presume our listeners of this webinar or the web program would be mostly Indians. And therefore, we would be more interested to knowing what is happening to India. To cut the long story short, India is in great space. That this decade, which we are sitting on, 2023, this 2020-2030 decade, in my view and in the view of many others, the decade will belong to India. If you look at the world around, there are so many conflicts and complexities. Nations after nations are fighting with each other, most of them for no reason. If you look at it, there is hardly any reason why the Russian war is taking place. If you look at it more deeply, there's no reason as to why the Israel-Palestinian conflict has started. And who wins? No one wins. People dies, economies suffer, people become poor, and the world at large suffers tremendously. Fortunately, India seems to be in an island which is doing fairly well. In fact, India is the fastest growing large economy in the world. Look at our neighbors. We all know Sri Lanka has become bankrupt, has gone to IMF with begging bowl. We know Pakistan is bankrupt, has gone to IMF with begging bowl. Bangladesh, which was reasonably doing well, has now gone to IMF for financial help and support. Even they are in trouble. Myanmar or old Burma is in deep trouble. Whether the country exists or not is a $1 million question. Afghanistan, lesser we talk, better it is. So our neighbors are in deep uncertainty. Look at little north, China. China was the flagship of our world. Last 20 years, the whole world was looking at China. China was dictating terms as to how the business and economies will work. In the last 1 year, the story has completely changed. A country which was growing at around 8 to 10% per annum, in the recent past, they are not showing more than 2 to 3% growth. India is likely to grow this year at around 7%. The world will be lucky if China grows at even at 4%. So the clock has turned away from China and again to India. So to answer your question as to the investment psychology, I presume is what you're saying. If our listeners and viewers are in India, or even if you're not in India, wanting to invest or make money in India, it is the place to do business in. The country has a stable, really relatively reasonably stable political system. The country is growing. There is hunger for growth within the country. The world is now looking after China. Now that the China is no longer working well, India is a country to source their material from. So, in short, I believe most of us or all of us who are in India or looking at India, we are in for some good times.
So, what are the five main important things that a person should consider while while doing investments?
What are those things which an investor should consider while they are doing investments? the first, the first consideration is risk. Is my investment, does my investment have risks? Now, the question perhaps would be that what can go wrong for India? I have said good times for India, the decade belongs to India. What can go wrong? What can go wrong essentially is one, some instability in politics or political instability. The central election is coming, and if some majority government cannot be formed, a government is formed with a lot of khichdi mixtures, that would entail a lot of political uncertainty. So the election, the central government's election, which is coming in March, April 2024, is fraught with some risk. We do hope that we get a stable government and the country continues to remain stable. Number two risk is climate change. I just talked about that Pakistan has become bankrupt. Pakistan has become bankrupt mostly last year in 2022 after the flood. If you remember, July, August, there was a bad flood. Thousands of people died in Pakistan. The climate uncertainties, we don't know what will happen to climate. Will there be enough rain? Will there be a drought? Will there be more rain? Will there be hurricane? We don't know. The climate has become a major risk factor. And the third, of course, is geopolitical uncertainty. If China attacks Taiwan or the China-Taiwanese war takes place, and if this Israeli-Palestinian or the Russian war doesn't get resolved, the world, even India, is likely to get hit very badly. So the first point, risks. So we should be aware of what are the risks of where we are investing. I'm, of course, now talking about India as a country. Number two, what we should consider is If I invest somewhere, I must get ethics. That means honesty and ethics. So the point to be considered is whenever an investment takes place, whether you are investing in a company, whether you are investing in shares of any company, whether you are investing in, let's say, bonds of any government, or whether you are putting in money in a bank, what you would look at is, are these people honest? Will they will they run away with my money, or will they protect my money? It is also a risk. It is part of risk, but this is little more than risk. It is the ethical practice. It is the corporate governance. It's the governance issue which needs to be considered. That means we should be careful of when we are investing. We should invest in those areas where we know that they are ethical. We know that the past there has not been black marks or red flags. This is very important to understand. So ethics is something which we should always take care of. Third, if we are investing, all of us want maximum return. Who does not want? If I want to invest, you would like to invest only where the return is more. So whenever you are talking of investment, you have to talk about return. But there is a word in return. It's called risk and return. Higher the risk, higher is the return. Lower the risk, lower is the return. For instance, if you keep money in fixed deposit in a bank, you may get 7% interest. If you give bond in money to a company for, let's say, corporate debt or corporate bonds, you may get into 11% interest. Risk बढ़ रहा है, risk is going up, the interest rates goes up or the return goes up. Higher the risk, higher the return. So we always have to balance risk reward, risk return. Some of us love to go to a casino. We can want to go to a casino to play. Risk is huge. You can lose all your money. Gain is also huge. You can win 10 times, 20 times, 30, 100 times of your investment. Risk reward. I don't go to casino because I am not able to undertake the risk. Maybe one of us can go to casino, love it because they like the risk. So they want to get higher returns. So you must look at risks, you must look at ethical practices, and you must look at what is the return I'm getting. If the return is good, return is secure. The fourth thing is whenever you are investing, what is the security? What is the security I'm getting? What if the company I'm investing, what if the money I'm investing, what if that is not returned? Is there a security? Can I fall on? Where, for instance, if the bank gives you a loan, let's say gives you a car loan, the bank will take the car as a security. If you don't return the loan, the bank will take away the car. So for the bank, there is a security, which is called the car. Similarly, we have opportunities to invest. We all have opportunities to invest in places where there is good security backup. If you invest in shares, there is no security. If the company does well, very good. If the company does not do well, your shares can go to zero. Whereas if you put money in, say, bond, in debts of companies, there will be a security. You can actually invest in convertible bonds or secured bonds. In case of banks, well, we believe banks are secure. Actually, bank doesn't have security. If you invest in bank, there is an insurance up to 5 lakh rupees. If there is a loss in bank, the bank will give you because there is insurance. But if you're more than 5 lakhs and the bank becomes bankrupt, only up to 5 lakhs. So bank is not secure. However, bank is secure in a softer way. Indian government will not allow banks to go bankrupt, large banks to go bankrupt. So whatever, if anything happens to a bank, for instance, last 2 years back, IDBI Bank was in very big trouble. IDBI Bank was incurring losses. None of us know, maybe most of us do not know, the IDBI Bank became very unsecured. But government did not allow us to notice it because government took care of it. Government gave equity money to the bank and IDBI Bank was saved. So security is something which you should look at. And the last one is what you need to look at when you are investing is liquidity. That is, you put in money somewhere, but if you need the money tomorrow, can you withdraw the money? There are certain places where you have to keep the money locked for 3 years. Like if you keep your money in Provident Fund, the money is locked. You can take a loan if there is a marriage or housing, you can take a loan. That also a percentage of the money which you have in provident fund. But the money is locked. There is, you can actually have a fixed period bonds, that 3-year bond or 5-year bond. Money is locked for 3 years or 5 years. However, if you keep, let's say, buy land, land is very, many of us want to invest in land, but land is actually locked. You cannot sell a land very, very quickly if there is required money. So liquidity is something which you must look at. Investment, you must see that if there is a problem tomorrow, can I get the money out quickly? Or at least you should know how quickly we can do. So to summarize, in wherever we invest, what are the things we need to look at? You are asked for 5 things. One is risk, how risky or less risk it is. Ethics, that means are they honest? How much, what is the level of honesty? Third is the return. How much return will you get? Higher the return or lower the return? What is it we are getting? Security. Are there any security? If something goes wrong, can I fall back on the security? And the fifth one is liquidity. Can I encash my investment if tomorrow I need money? These are the 5 considerations an investor needs to have.
So today, in order to gain more returns and income quickly, today's younger generation, especially Gen Next, is more attracted towards cryptocurrency. What are your viewpoints on it?
You have asked a very, very important question on cryptocurrency. So I will take about for your viewers 3 to 4 minutes to explain what is a cryptocurrency. Let me tell you upfront, cryptocurrency is not a currency. So why is it so? Let us say you have money you have money in your purse. Let's say you have 500 rupees money. You want to take that 500 rupee note and buy a coffee in the next coffee shop. You can go with the money, buy a coffee shop, coffee or Starbucks, they will give you a coffee. But if you have a crypto in your hand, you go to the coffee shop, say, I have crypto, Bitcoin, I have Gaggy coin, give me a coffee, they will give you a kick. He said, nothing, no crypto, please give me money, give me that 200 rupees cash, which means cryptocurrency is not widely acceptable. Number 2, crypto is, you cannot carry with it. You can keep it in your laptop, you can keep it in your mobile, but it is not easily accessible. That means it will have, the accessibility is limited. Even if you are a crypto expert, let's say you have crypto and I'm not a crypto expert, I will not be able to transfer to me the money because I don't know how to accept a cryptocurrency. So not widely acceptable. Number 3, very important is the value of crypto varies. It goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, and you don't know what will happen tomorrow. So people invest in crypto because they believe the value will go up. Don't know why, but it will go up. That's why they invest. So you can't have a currency with you which continues to fluctuate. It can go up and it can come down with some sort of a certainty. Like if you see Argentinian peso, it is only deteriorating, but constant deterioration. But in Indian currency, it is more or less flat, 4 to 5% per annum depreciation. Now, it doesn't have the characteristics of a currency. But more importantly, a crypto has a price. If you are having a Bitcoin, I'm talking Bitcoin because the most popular cryptocurrency. Today, the cryptocurrency, a Bitcoin may be around $30,000 per Bitcoin. Okay, assuming it is $30,000. If I ask you a question, why it is $30,000? It was 2 months back $25,000. 6 months back it was $20,000. 1 year back it was $40,000. 3 years back it was $66,000. Why it went up? Why is this value? For every currency or every product, for value you need demand and supply. Where demand matches supply, the price gets determined. When the demand and supply matches, the price gets determined. Do you know the demand for cryptocurrency? Have you read any information on cryptocurrency demand? Have you read any newspaper item on cryptocurrency demand? Have you read any WhatsApp message on cryptocurrency demand? Have you seen any TV announcement of cryptocurrency demand? Nobody knows what's a cryptocurrency demand. There is no information. Very nice. Do you have cryptocurrency supply information? Do you know what is a supply today? What was a supply yesterday? What was supply last year? Do you have any newspaper cuttings, Bloomberg, Reuters, anywhere information? No supply information. तो उसका वैल्यू कैसे हो सकता है जिसका डिमांड एंड सप्लाई इंफॉर्मेशन है ही नहीं? आपका पास नहीं है, आपका पास नहीं है और हमारे पास नहीं है, तो किसी के पास नहीं है. जो प्रोडक्ट का डिमांड सप्लाई इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं होता है, उसका प्राइस कैसे बन सकता है? आज आप मार्केट में गए टू बाय सम फ्लावर्स, फ्लावर का लेट्स सी वांट्स टू बाय सम रोजेस, प्राइस इज 500. आफ्टर 1 week the price becomes 1000. You know that the price becomes 1000 because there is a festival, there is a puja, there is a celebration, so the price has gone up because there is more demand. But in case of cryptocurrency, there is no information of demand and supply. If it is not a currency, it doesn't have the characteristics of currency. If it doesn't have a demand and supply information available to you, how can you even go for a cryptocurrency? All those who are watching this video ever, let me tell you, 90% of cryptocurrency is used for drugs, armaments, terrorism, and girls. This is what the cryptocurrency is used for. So be careful. It is the underworld who uses cryptocurrency. It is not generally used for, yes, some people would say that, no, I have seen crypto is being used here and there. True, some people are using it because it is speculative in nature, but in essence, crypto has no value. Stay away. Stay away from cryptocurrencies.
So my next question would be related to MSMEs. When we say India is the most populated country, so what do you see the future of MSMEs in India?
90% of all businesses in India belongs to MSME. 90% of people occupied in businesses. 90% of people occupied in businesses belong to MSME. No economy, no large company can manufacture everything. Let's say there is a car manufacturer. Let's say Tata Motors. When Tata Motors makes a car, it will be basically making the assembling of the car and some crucial electronics maybe. Everything else, someone else is going to make. Who does this? They outsource. Any large manufacturer, any large service provider outsources its activities, other activities. For instance, let's say you are a hospital. A hospital takes patients. So hospital will take patients, but they will outsource the medication. They will outsource the person who is supplying nurses. They will outsource the agency who will do the cleaning of the hospital. Hospital खुद नहीं करते, वो outsource कर देते हैं. Similarly, in case of manufacturing also, they outsource manufacturing of smaller equipments, critical equipments, they outsource. So no economy can grow if the MSME does not grow disproportionately. I told you a little earlier, this decade belongs to India. Huge growth is going to take place. Necessarily will mean that this growth MSME is going to get. MSME in entrepreneurs needs to be intelligent enough to take advantage of this situation. They need to be patient. They need to be ethical. They need to be hardworking. And they need to understand finance quite well, reasonably well, so that they don't miss out on opportunities because they don't have money. In my view, MSME growth, MSME growth would be faster than the economic growth. Because if that doesn't happen, our country will not be able to grow at 7 to 8% per annum. We need them to grow faster. Also, once the economy starts doing well, there is always people who will have better employment, better better money available with them, more purchasing power. More purchasing power means छोटा छोटा दुकान चालू हो जाएगा, more small restaurants will start, small little shops will start, small little entertainment hubs will start. So these are all MSMEs. These are all small little entrepreneurial um, and entrepreneurial inputs. Small schools will start, small training centers will start. So whenever the economy grows, this small little ancillary industry starts. So to cut the long story again, I feel in this decade which is coming, MSMEs have a great opportunity in India. Be patient, be ethical, be intelligent, have common sense, and yes, use money well, and don't lose sight of good financial management.
Thank you, sir, for sharing such important insights with us. And thank you for being on 365 Days, 365 Stories. Once again, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.